Oh boy. Well, it's Friday, and I know I'm not going to start this episode off like we usually do. But get into it. Don't worry. If you're here, I suggest maybe you skip a minute in to get to the main title of this video. But let me just get into this. First of all, I want to say real quick a couple of things. I finally made it through a week. I'm really happy about getting here finally. Next thing is I'm going to be starting up a new series, cooling CPUs with different assorted items from my house, silverware, different things. It's gonna be interesting. I'll be working on that soon. But to get into the main bit, I'm really excited about what's coming up, and a lot of cool things. I just want to say thank you for everybody watching this. Now, since we're in a minute in, let's actually get started. So today's title of the video is why SSDs are becoming extremely more popular. And this video is probably something that's kind of obvious. If you chill out and you're anywhere into the tech world, you know that an SSD practically, I don't even know, it's probably the biggest advantage and biggest increase in performance you can get ever, anywhere in your CPU. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some different arguments there, but with most people will agree with me here, is that if you get an SSD, I don't know, go for something like a 7,000 RPM hard drive to a SSD. No matter what SSD you have, you will practically be booting up much faster. It's crazy. And now there are different types of SSDs and there's different ways they do it and stuff, but there's not as much of a difference as just that substantial increase from a hard drive up to an SSD. And people can argue with me here about hey, an SSD is bad because it dies, but then again a hard drive dies too, so you can't really be that person that just says that an SSD is all bad. The other thing I personally like about an SSD is while they may be a lot more expensive, you don't necessarily you can use you can have multiple SSDs, and I feel like obviously it's the same with hard drives, but I feel like just the amount of performance boost you get in loading stuff off of SSDs, how fast SSDs run, all that kind of stuff is just a huge difference. So with that in mind, if you do have a hard drive and you don't have an SSD, well, at least that you have your operating system on, they're you can get some for dirt cheap. The one that I have in my system is a 128, and it's something like $50 I think I paid for it, and it's practically insane good. And I boot my system up in about takes me less than 15 seconds for my whole system to boot, which is absolutely crazy. My old Mac, which obviously coming from a Mac is a different situation, I don't really have another comparison point for that. But my Mac used to get a whole bunch of, I don't know how to describe this. My Mac basically doesn't have an SSD in it, and it kind of takes forever to boot. So looking at it from that point of view, it just seems that an SSD is so much better than anything that you can get for a computer. I mean, if you don't have that, that's the only point of this video is because I had this. My brother is still using his Mac, which is practically the same specs as the old one I have. And it's a little interesting to see him wait 3 minutes for it to boot up, and that's off of a hard drive. But obviously I definitely just Macs have kind of fallen. I being a previous Mac owner, I still have my Mac, but I feel like a PC is so much nicer, and a lot of people agree with me there. But anyway, I am really excited about what's to come. I'm kind of getting tired of making all these kind of not tech related videos, but more the just talking about stuff. I'd much rather to get in there and start doing stuff, because it's really, I am more of a person that likes to do stuff and do experiments rather than just talk about stuff, and I will be doing that soon, so we'll be good. I'm actually gonna go on eBay today, see if I can find some junky computer for $10, and then buy it and get it shipped, and we'll have a computer to experiment on. Hopefully something that thermal throttles, because I don't want to have to get a new processor every time I fry it, because I hate to break it to you, I'm going to be using forks to cool a processor, and we'll have to find out how many forks it takes. So stay tuned, guys, and we'll see you guys soon.